playing something like I play squash, and I'm winning like 8-1 or 8-2 or something. It's first to 9, but then I can't win the game. I bottle it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, people always talk about fear of failure, but there's another common thing in psychology, which is fear of success, which is almost worse in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you can't quite get over the line.
Yeah, and then perfectionism as well can be problematic, can't it? So
Yeah.
Aspirational types.
One thing I find very strange is how, of all the millions of good songs that there have ever been by people, there's just a few that everyone latches onto. And I just think it shows incredible lack of imagination.
I know, yeah.
I mean, in Asia, I'm not picking on Asia, but I used to live in Thailand, and so sick of people calling out Hotel California or Country Roads.
I know, yeah.
It's like, come on, for fuck's sake. You know, I mean, I cut Thailand a bit of slack because they don't know the scene, but in England, it's like people come up to an open mic and say, I'm going to play a Johnny Cash number, and everyone knows it's going to be fucking Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, have a bit of imagination.
Yeah, it's why I can't go to nightclubs, because it's all just, it's all just the crowd pleasers and songs that you hear on the radio, and then you turn the radio off as quickly as you can.
All right, we're going to wrap it up fairly soon. I've asked a couple of people this. What do you think the future of music is? If we were suddenly, 30 years in the future, do you think there's still going to be like just rock bands chugging out rock songs? Or is there any limit, or could you go on ad infinitum almost?
Well, I feel like we've maybe run out of genres, and now it's just about fusion.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered this before. I think.
But the stuff we've done in the last century has been so good that let's just repeat it.
Well, I was looking. A friend of mine, we were looking at a songbook of Americana. There's actually a rockabilly sort of jam on Sunday nights at the Toast in Madrid. And I mean, there's thousands of those songs, and religious as well, religious songs. I mean, there's just thousands of them. And then I think latter day, a band like the Foo Fighters or Red Hot Chili Peppers, they've got this sound, and I mean, it just seems like they could turn out these albums for forever. Yeah. And it's not particularly memorable, to be honest.
That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, even U2, who everybody seems to hate, I think the reason they do hate U2 is because they found a sound and then they just stuck with it. Eventually, I mean, the last few albums just very generic U2.
Radiohead, to their credit, is still. Not everyone likes their latest stuff.
Yeah, it kind of bores me really. I loved, Pablo Honey and the Bends, OK Computer. But,
have you decided on the song? Oh, we're just going to be honest and say that you're not actually playing it now.
That's true, yeah.
But that's no problem. I thought because we got a good recording of one of your showcase.
Okay, that would be cool to use one of those recordings, definitely. And I'd love to have Mo and Christian on it as well. I feel like it would be unfair to do something myself. Launch my solo.
You're not hanging around. He only took the plane last week. So I think we'll go with Abomination.
I think we will. Yeah, it's a nice song.
We're going to let give them a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I mean, people sing along in the chorus. We kind of invite them to with we stop the music and gesture in the usual way for people to join in.
And could you summarise Mo's rap?
Well, Mo's rap
basically about?
Mo's rap is about politicians, and maybe they mean well, but when they get into power, they get corrupt, or they get they get weakened. They can't do the things they want to do. So the whole system's just a mess.
And designed to get psychopaths to the top.
That's right.
That's absolutely beyond doubt.
Well, there's so much you could say about politics and democracy and stuff. But I think the main theme in his song is just expressing his sadness and anger at the inequality in the world and the things that perhaps we could do more to change but don't, and the fact that the people on the top have maybe different priorities. Maybe motivated by money or deals or just keeping their power, hanging on to power.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's not necessarily anti-Obama, although of course we're not particularly keen on the drone strikes in Pakistan.
And Yemen. Obama's a symbol for me. I don't think he's got any real power. I think, you know, when they come into power and they have a meeting with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is all the sort of generals advising them on military strategy, I think if a president went in and said, "Oh, by the way, there's going to be no more war," I think they'd just gut laugh, you know, as Bill Hicks would say. He'd just get laughed out of the room, you know, because it's a machine. And, you know, I've spent 6 years virtually full time. All my time when I'm not working is just researching how the world works and reading and listening to podcasts. And I'm absolutely certain about some things and not so certain of others. But
I'm not absolutely certain about nothing.
No, I suppose you're right. But I mean,
maybe I need to spend more time doing what you do.
There's a few things that, you know, are indisputable. Anyway, no, with Obama, the big question for me is, at what point did he know what the system was like? Because, you know, if he got to sort of middle management, so to speak, in terms of politics, you know, and then he knew what the system was like, and then he decided he still wanted to be president, then he's totally culpable, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit naive to think that
But you couldn't turn down the job, though, could you? If you felt like you had a chance at it, you have to do it.
Yeah,
Do you ever watch Veep?
No.
It's an excellent American show made by the creators of The Thick of It.
Oh yeah, I know.
Armando Iannucci. Yeah, it follows Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld as the vice president, and it's a great political satire. I think it's as good as The Thick of It.
You ever seen Yes Minister?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Did a massive blog post on that.
Oh, right.
I watched every single episode, you know, but that was a massive project. But I learned so much from that. I think it's a bit naive to think that Obama, you know, was going to have all these campaign promises, you know, repeal the Patriot Act, you know, get close Guantanamo Bay, and then suddenly he realised, oh no, I can't, you know. I think it's a bit naive, but no, Obama's, it's you can make quite a few good puns, like Obamageddon is another one.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah. Abomination came from, there was a right-wing kind of Republican extreme film called Abomination, which was about how America would fall to pieces if he were elected.
Right.
And then, of course, he was elected, and America seems the same as it always was to me, with its strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's been good. We've done nearly an hour, actually.
Yeah, well, I'll happily talk for longer, and then perhaps there'll be more good bits, but I'll happily end at your discretion as
I'll
well.
send you the uncut one, because it's always a good memory of, you know, an hour just talking shit. So.
Okay, I'll watch that right after my wedding video.
Yeah, maybe you could put a George Harrison soundtrack over it. My Sweet Lord, or like, oh my Lord, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I can't decide though whether to continue playing music or whether to call it a day, because both options are quite attractive. You know, I've definitely got some ideas for songs, and it might be fun to try a new style or jam with new people. But then again, it might be fun to just say, you know, surely I can't make a better band than the Giants, and surely we won't write any better songs. So maybe I'll just call it a day.
So you reckon you hit a peak recently, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
come down.
That's right. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, maybe I should toss a coin, and if it's heads, I'll retire, and if it's tails, I'll make an album and do some.
I reckon you should just give it a rest for a few weeks. And you'll get the itch back, and it'll all be fresh.
Where's my coin? So heads I quit, and tails I...
This is a live coin toss. Here we go.
Which one's heads anyway on the Euro? Is that heads? Or?
The heads is with the one on
with
it.
The one.
It's not really a head, but
so heads I quit, tails I.
Heads you quit music, tails you keep going.
Inflict my music on people. What is that, tails?
Tails. What was that?
That means I have to continue.
Oh, okay, excellent. And it is tails, everyone. I promise you. I'm an honest man. All right, very good. So you're going to continue.
Well, yeah, I'll look forward to the album.
Okay, and we're going to sign off with Abomination live.